And people need to wake up and realize it. And I'm so glad that we have patriots around the country that are out there that are speaking out about it and they're pushing back and they're making their voices heard. And not just their voices, but they're giving other conservatives an opportunity to let their voices be heard as well. Because we know that the mainstream media, they're trying to shut us down. They don't want to hear us at all. And that, or therein lies the danger. When you have CNN, MSNBC, Washington Post, New York Times, and all these other left leaning news organizations that aren't reporting the truth. So it's people like you and I, After Dark with Rob and Andrew, on the American Out Loud platform on iHeartRadio, that's out there Monday through Friday, making our voices, letting our voices be heard, and saying, hey, this is who we are, and this is what people need to be watching out for. And as you said, our guest, Chad, who's out there with I'm Fired Up. I like that. Let's find out what Chad is fired up about. Chad, how is it going, man?
Living the dream down here in beautiful South Carolina. How you all doing on the other side of the wire?
Hey, we're doing good. We're doing good. South Carolina. I like that. I'm originally from Arkansas. So I'm also from the Southern hospitality, and we serve it up well. So
That's right.
tell us about I'm Fired Up. What are you fired up about, man?
This country. I took an oath of this country 6 times. I've always been in service of my country, my community. That oath means something to guys like me. And I believe in times that we're in right now, like you talked about in your monologue, this is exactly the time that we're supposed to show that patriotism, and that this is when that oath is supposed to mean something. That oath is sometimes said in a party or a re-enlistment, or um, it's more of an opportunity for people to say, look, I'm still going to stay in. But it actually means something. And this time in our country is when that oath is supposed to stand for a whole bunch more. And that's what I'm trying to do right now. And that's what we do at I'm Fired Up. We stand up for those that can't stand up for themselves or won't. And we try to educate and motivate. And we do it in our own special way.
You're right, and it is time to stand up, and people need to realize it. And you can't be afraid. I mean, they're going to take pot shots at you. They're going to try to punk you out. They want you to stand down. I mean, look at social media. Look at Twitter. Look at Facebook. I've been kicked off Twitter like 4 different times, and for what? I've looked at all of my tweets. Said nothing derogatory. I wasn't attacking anyone, minding my own business. But what I was doing was pointing out the hypocrisy in the media with their politicians by using their own words. I would take what they would say on shows like CNN and say, wait, but you said this. You're saying now no border wall, but a decade ago you were saying we need a border wall. So I was just calling them out. I was pointing out that China is a threat. They didn't like that. So we got to kick him off. We want to silence his voices. Whereas there are other people that are there with their pornography, sex with kids, and all this other deviant stuff. They're okay with it. Look at Facebook allowing people to have sex and to kill people live. But they say, oh, we don't want anything that's pornography. We don't want any violence. YouTube, we don't want any violence. But you can Google fights in the ghetto, and you'll see 2 women fighting butt naked, and they're okay with it. Oh, that's fine. But the moment you start to speak truth to power, they want to shut you down. Have you experienced the same thing, Chad?
Well, you guys talked about my podcast and my radio show. I was actually fired from my radio show for 2 days after I came back from DC on January 6th. Nothing more than local haters and Democrats. Yeah, we even have Dixie Democrats down here in the South that filled up online and tried to just destroy me for what we are. And that's the other thing, I'm Fired Up, and what we do. We base our platform off of making our community, our country, our state better. Huge in philanthropy. We are the group that when hurricanes come, we run sand pits. We we do those things. So I'm a big believer in walk the walk, don't talk the talk. And that's where we went to DC. I needed to see what this was going to be about. And I didn't even go to the Capitol building. The FBI is still out there wanting to talk to me, but my lawyer said that's not going to happen. So keep the alphabet, man. What happened to, we used to think they were great. It's just bad. It's bad.
Yeah.
It's really bad. I got more investigations than I do since, and it just drives me nuts.
Yeah, Chad, we've seen so many incidents since January 6th, like Nick Fuentes being put on the no-fly list and all these other things that are happening to people who just attended the event. Does that concern you that eventually you're going to be trying to do something and they're going to try and act like you're some kind of domestic terrorist or something like that?
It's already happened. It's already happened. I actually went to Florida for a conference that I was speaking at, or that I was going to speak at. And I went with a Navy chaplain of mine, friend of mine, who's also in the fight here in South Carolina. And it was funny because he had to talk to the FBI for January 6th. Although we didn't go together, he was there. And every terminal, I mean, I'm talking about the doors that open up to the plane. He was pulled out. When we went in there to check in our bags, pulled out. This is a 70 some odd year old Navy chaplain. Because he talked to the FBI, he was still able to fly, but it was, I mean, he got messed with everywhere. And here I am knowing I never spoke to the FBI. I didn't take a carry on. I checked my bags. I know how this game is played. They never mess with me. And I have the nickname Thugzilla. This guy's a Navy chaplain getting messed with. But at the same time, I also put in for, I'm a huge Second Amendment guy, and I put in for a suppressor, a silencer, if you will. It takes 4 months for those usually to come back. Mine took a year and 4 months. Guess what the 4-month date was? January 6th. My wife got her concealed weapon permit with her neighbor across the street. Her neighbor got her concealed weapon permit back 2 months before my wife. And the reason and then I got my silencer, she got her CWP all in the same week because I called a congressman friend of mine and said, am I going to have to make this a big deal or what? And next thing I know, it's here. They're going to play with me, but here's the thing. We have to find a way to be okay with uncomfortable. That's our biggest problem right now. The concept of decorum, tell me one any part of AOC that's got decorum, or for that matter, Pelosi. We are in a war here. We're in a fight, and there's so many fronts. And that's why our tagline at I'm Fired Up is show up, stand up, speak up. It's your republic. Fight for it. And that's what we need to do. I'm not saying you need to go out there, because if we do the mundane now and get involved and go out there and raise our voice and organize as Americans, patriots, then we can let our barrels stay cold. But this tyrannical government and the way things are going, I'm afraid we're going to get into a situation where things are going to get ugly. And I don't like it. That's why I'm trying to be as loud and as out there as I can. And trust me, you talked about the media. I mean, Google me. Yeah. It's a hit piece after hit piece after hit piece. And it's dumb hit pieces. I just had an event with General Flynn, and an Antifa guy tried to interrupt. I took him out. Here I am, disabled firefighter takes out a peaceful protester. Get out of here.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. And like you said, you were fired from the radio station simply because a group of people, he was there for January 6th. You know, this whole January 6th thing is driving me nuts. It was not an insurrection. The insurrection took place during the spring and summer of 2020. That was your insurrection, when people were burning down state and federal buildings, when individuals burned down a police station hoping that the police officers were inside. That was your insurrection, not January 6th. We've got to set the record straight. And what is sad and unfortunate is that the people that are writing history, they are doing a hit job. I mean, you have all these books that are coming out with lies. Lies, lies, lies. Why? Because they don't want the truth to come out that President Trump was and is one of the greatest presidents to ever occupy the White House. With what he got done within that time frame, when you had all these people attacking him non-stop, that was the greatest president. They want to make it seem as if though he was the worst, he was a white supremacist. But when you look at the record and when you look at the definition, it's like he was nowhere near that. Joe Biden is your white supremacist. There was no insurrection, folks. Get over it. Who killed Ashley Babbitt? Who was the black police officer who was extremely careless, who has been careless before, fired and shot an unarmed white woman? Who killed Ashley Babbitt? Nancy Pelosi. If you want to do or have some type of commission looking into January 6th, start with who killed Ashley Babbitt. The second point, find out who on the FBI was within that group creating havoc. Who within the police department was within the group creating havoc? Because we all saw the video, we all saw the tape with them telling individuals to come to the White House. There are hundreds and hundreds of hours of taping that we are yet to see. Release the tapes, Nancy Pelosi. You're responsible for the protection, the security of the White House. You failed. Why aren't we talking about that? And I would say to my fellow Republicans up on the Hill, wake up and push back. You can't just talk the talk, as Chad said. You need to walk the walk. Don't be afraid. Stand up for the country. I'm sick and tired of supporting you people, and you do absolutely nothing but just talk. Talk is cheap. Push back. Look at Marjorie Taylor Greene. They don't like her. I mean, I don't like the fact that she's been apologizing lately, but come on. She pushes back. These other guys have got to push back also, or be rolled over by the Democrats, which is what's happening. They're being rolled over. So I say to you, Chad, I mean, stay in the fight. Yeah, I look at social media, I look at Google, and you're like a target. They're all over you. But yet and still, you keep going. How do you keep going? How do you manage to keep going?
That's a great question. I get asked all the time, why do you do this? Because if you look at any of my platforms before they've all been canceled, and we'll go into that in a minute because we're about to come back bigger than ever. Oh, that's going to make some heads explode.
It sure will.
I have a gangster wife. She's an Italian redhead that can tan. That's a unicorn if I've ever seen one. And she is tough as nails. And I'm telling you right now, with her support and because in today's politics, if you don't make a big enough stink, you don't matter. We the people's a joke. I'm sure we can all attest to that right now, except when Donald Trump was in the White House. He did it for the people. That's why I don't really push Donald Trump per se. It's the MAGA doctrine. I've said it 100 times. Talk MAGA doctrine. Don't talk about the man. Talk about MAGA doctrine. Is he going to be president in 2024? Is he going to be president in August? I don't care. I hope so. But at the same time, I want somebody that believes in the MAGA doctrine, the America First doctrine. Let's make our people at home comfortable before we worry about the rest of the world. And everything's really starting to show itself. I love the meme out there that says, I'm running out of conspiracy theories because they're all becoming true. It's one of those things where, I'll tell you right now, conspiracy theory number one, who shot Ashley Babbitt? I know who shot Ashley Babbitt. That was a black bag job all day. There is not one Secret Service person that's out there going to wear a bandana around his mouth like he's friggin' the Karate Kid or Jesse James or whatever. And why was he wearing gloves? SWAT was there in 2 seconds and none of them had gloves on. That was a black bag job. Point two, if he was Biden security, if he was any congressional security or presidential vice president security, there's no way in the wide world of sports that he would be standing there in a closet, stage left of those doors by himself. Ladies and gentlemen, you go talk to one person that's had any concept of Navy SEAL, Marine Recon, or anything along those lines. That was absolutely a black bag job.
And that's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing the exact same thing.
There's protocol. We live in protocol and security, in military, in Secret Service. They have protocol. They tell you what to wear. I mean, you even saw it with Men in Black. Here's your black suit. Here's your black tie. Here's it. You know, that's what they do. They have protocol. You're not going to sit there with a handkerchief across your nose, calling it a mask, with gloves inside your Glock. Why did he have gloves on? Because now he doesn't have any residue on him. Everything is removed. And he shot Ashley Babbitt. It is what it is.
Yeah, it looked like cold-blooded murder to me. I mean, you look at this, and there was a group of people, and the guy, police officer, security guard, whatever the heck he was, he just literally shot into a crowd of people. I've never seen anything like that before from people in the police department or in security. Chad, had you ever seen anything like that where this guy just open fired into a random crowd of people? He could have hit multiple people. He could have hit children. He didn't know who he was shooting at.
He did know who he was shooting it at, and I can say that because if you watch, he takes 2 crow hops. Crow hop, pointed, pushed, and shot. He was making sure that it was going into Ashley Babbitt. Now, where I have a problem with it is explain to me what the threat was. They weren't sitting there with pitchforks. There was nobody in that hallway. They still haven't been able to come out and say that the vice president was 4 doors down. Come on, man. Isn't that what Joe says? Come on, man. Stupid is what stupid does, right? And this guy just happened to be. That wasn't Capitol Security in a cute uniform. That was a guy sitting in a closet that bounced out like he was hiding. And Ashley jumped up to go through a window. And you don't just shoot people in security protocol if you're not protecting something. They've already established there was nothing in that hallway. There was nothing significant. They've already given up the whole damn Capitol. Why was that hallway so important? Why was it that John Sullivan, a known antagonist, BLM, Antifa, happened to be the guy taking the film with the CNN, embedded with CNN? Come on, man. We talk about that here all the time, and people yell at me all the time. Politics isn't complicated. If it walks like a duck, talks like a duck, it's probably a duck.
Well, I'm going to say this.
You have it.
Yeah, I'm going to say this. We don't know if this is the guy or not. Some are identifying him as being Michael Byrd, as the black guy. We need to get to the bottom of it. We need to find out who shot Ashley Babbitt. I just looked at the news screen. They're saying that Sears and Target, they're pulling shirts saying that Ashley Babbitt was a patriot. Now, you will pull that shirt, but you'll leave the shirt out there that George Floyd was a patriot. George Floyd was a criminal. George Floyd should have no monuments, no busts, no nothing, no laws in honor of him. It's
you guys are talking too much common sense. Stop it.
Exactly. It's too much common sense. As my grandmother would say, that's too much like right.
Have you guys ever heard of Zig Ziglar?
Tell us about him.
I haven't.
Zig Ziglar back in the day was one of the biggest marketing sales minds out there. He would go talk to Microsoft and everything and teach people how to sell. Sell. Ladies and gentlemen, you are inside of the biggest, most extravagant marketing campaign you've ever seen in your entire life. And the thing is, you have the funding of the government through corporations that are actually telling you how you're supposed to think. Why do we wear Nike instead of Zips? Because Nike spent a lot of money to tell us that we like them. I don't wear Nike because Kaepernick is an idiot. He killed it for me. I'm an Adidas kind of guy. Not saying they're the greatest, but I got back problems and they got that cloud thing. But I'm going to say this. You guys, all of us, you sit there and you watch transgender people eating crackers together, Ritz crackers together in Christmas. Zig Ziglar would always tell you, you always want to market to the masses. Find what the masses want to sell your product. Right now, the masses are based on an ideological feeling. We're supposed to feel bad. I'm supposed to feel bad because I'm blonde haired, blue eyed, and white. My bad. I'm supposed to go buy Ritz crackers because I want to feel socially available to all people. I'm socially available to all people because I will stop my car and help somebody, black, brown, transgender, boy, girl, whatever. Apache helicopter. I see myself as an Apache helicopter. Since we're all allowed to do this, I am an Apache. That's my pronoun. But it comes down to where we have to be able to look at this and be real. And that's the beauty of it. I tell people all the time, let them keep doing it. Why? Because people at some point are going to get tired of stupid.
Yeah.
Everybody has their breaking point. I've been posting a long time, more stupid. Jen Psaki going door to door. Give me a break. It ain't happening in South Carolina, I promise you that.
She's not coming my way.
Nah, we have a castle law here, and this is go look online. Jen Psaki's made one of the biggest, dumbest statements ever. And I'll tell you right now, we can't get people to work at Hardee's. How are we going to get people to go to people's door and get chewed out and possibly a gun in their face, tell them that we're going to jab you because we think you're dumb and you haven't done it yet? I'll tell everybody out there listening to this show right now, don't you dare allow those people on your property. You have a right as an American to your property. You have a right as an American to your household. You do not have to sit there and let the government. And I just ordered my Black American flag. Y'all know what that stands for, right? No quarters taken. And I'm going to fly it off the back of this Black Ops Chevrolet, and I'm going to have one sitting in my front yard. My HOA already knows not to play with me. They're a whole nother communist. They're all from Connecticut. I don't know what that's all about.
But man, you're on fire.
That's where we're at.
You're on fire, and I see why your show is called I'm Fired Up, because we should all be fired up looking at our civil liberties being taken away from us, and people are just acquiescing. I mean, it started with the shutdown. Don't go outside. Don't talk to anyone. You better put that mask on if you go outside. And you need a vaccine. The people with underlying conditions need the vaccine. Now they want everyone to have the vaccine, including children. When and where does it stop? And the media, we had a guest on not too long ago who was saying that the media is responsible for a lot of these regimes that have taken control in these socialist countries, because they use the propaganda to promote what these leaders were talking about, making it seem as if though it's okay. And when you turn on your TV, that's all you hear from CNN, MSNBC, Washington Post, New York Times, all of them colluding together, saying the exact same thing. They want the country to be destroyed. And we were all concerned about Bernie Sanders. Well, we can't let Bernie Sanders. Joe Biden has proven us wrong. Not that he's in control, but that senile old man, that senile old fart has done more damage and more harm to this country than any of the wars that we fought could have ever done. And it's really unfortunate and really sad that Joe Biden
real quick?
is doing this. Absolutely. Go for it.
See, this is why we get all fired up, because I don't know if you folks can't see, but my face is red right now. Because here's the thing. You've got Joe Biden, and I can prove that statement that you just made. Joe Biden is out to destroy us. Why? Why is it less than, I think it was 63 days into his presidency, he overturned the opportunity for the drug companies that do insulin and EpiPens, and he took away what Trump negotiated to get those prices down for people. He reversed it. No rhyme or reason. He can't prove to me what makes sense about that. He didn't even talk about it. When Jen Psaki was asked about it, she moved on, because it was placating to somebody that is ordering him or giving him. That's just it. We have Democrats that are working for somebody. When are we going to start having representatives that's like our Bill of Rights, like our Constitution, for we the people instead of them and their people? And when was enough where we as Americans are going to stand up and do what you two gentlemen do daily, and what I try to do? Yeah, we don't need to go out there and be in FBI investigations and all that. It doesn't make any sense. But when I am here in South Carolina saying we're going to go to the State House and I'm going to speak on the State House steps and talk to the House legislature and the Senate, when they say they just passed a form of constitutional carry, which is total BS. Because what are we in? 2022 election season. A form of constitutional carry, because I have a CWP and my shirt gets caught on the hilt of my gun. Now I'm not going to get a fine. I'm not allowed to open carry because I have my CWP. I asked a senator, and this is fact. a Republican senator. His name's Greg Embry. Let's just put him out there. Hey, Greg. He actually stated to me, Chad, wouldn't it be better to have a half a loaf of bread than none? And I said, no. Because if you keep giving me a half a load of bread and it's not enough, at some point, I'm coming for your half. And that's a fact. And he tried to tell me that in regards to gun legislation in South Carolina. And he said, yes, you have rights based on the Second Amendment. But people that are walking around also have rights. And I said, can you rip one off for me and tell me what exactly rights I would be encroaching on by openly carrying a sidearm? And he said they wouldn't feel comfortable. I don't care. When I walk up to somebody with a Biden Kamala shirt, I am triggered. I am uncomfortable with that person in my general vicinity. Nobody cares. This is the stupid that we send to our state house. And that's why we did what we just did lately and took over the Republican Party in South Carolina. Because if you want to look at why if you ever look at the television and say, how do we get all these idiots in Congress and Senate? Go look at your local party. I promise. That's what you see. They set their seeds and root them up and send them on out. Next man up, whoever plays by the rules. Hey, how about we throw the rules out? We, the people, make them. That's what we try to do.
And that's what has to happen. Because
to.
the rules that they're creating is rules for them, things that they can get away with. But then when you have free thought, they want to shut you down. You're offending me. I need a quiet corner. Get away from me. It's like, are you serious? And this is America, 2021. Never would have thought we would be here. And we're moving at such a rapid pace to no man's land, more of an oppressive regime. And you have all these woke so-called millennials. We don't like this country. It's bad. And this, and it's that. It's like, you guys have barely left your front doorstep. And you're saying you don't like the country. You haven't been around the world. You haven't experienced the oppression with other countries. They probably look at China and go, oh, it's the best and the greatest thing. Yeah, get your butt to China and let's see how free you are. Let's see how great it is. You look at all these other countries that are oppressive. Why do you think that people want to come to America? It's like, think about it. Why do you think people are like bombarding the border trying to come to America if the country is so oppressive and so bad? They can't answer that. And what they'll say is, oh, well, they want to be able to work because their country is so bad. But you just said that America was bad. So why would they want to come here with this systemic racism? Do they want a taste of that? Are they dying to be discriminated against? They just want some of America's racism? And that's the reason why they're going across the border? But they don't think. It's like they use talking points day in and day out. Because if America is predominantly racist, how the heck are those coming across the border going to be able to make it in this racist country? You ask them and they're dumbfounded. Oh, and what they'll say is, oh, is that a trick question? Yeah, it's a trick question. So try to answer the trick question. But they're clueless.
Isn't it funny how it's a trick question when it's straight up?
Absolutely. When it's straight up, it's like, oh, I mean, and I've seen them. Oh, I think that's a trick question. You're trying to confuse me. No, I'm not trying to confuse you. I just want a direct answer. Why are they coming across the border to America? Why would they want to experience our racism if we're such a racist country? And you haven't it outside anywhere other than your front yard. Now, you probably went to a university that's brainwashed you, but you haven't experienced the world. You have not seen the world. But yet and still, America is so oppressive and they can't do this. And for black people, well, you have all these black millionaires, you have black billionaires, and you had the first black president who did absolutely nothing, was a complete failure, but yet and still America is oppressive. Go figure. It makes absolutely no sense. I sit back and I listen to it. I'm thinking, are you serious? Really? I mean, just really think about what you're saying here, that we're such a bad place to live, bad place to be. But people are still coming here by the thousands just to taste some of America's racist ways so that they can say, oh, I went to America and man, like they said, it sure is a racist place, but I'm still there. Illegally, I'm still here. Go figure.
Undocumented, sir. They don't like that word.
Yeah, undocumented. And see, that doesn't make any sense to me either. Oh, I'm undocumented. Okay, yeah, you're an illegal alien. Oh, it's the COVID-19. No, it's the China virus. Deal with it. Get over yourselves. Really? Stop being so offended. Wake up. Smell the political coffee.
Everybody gets a trophy.
The
That's where
trophy
we've
award.
lost it. That's where we've lost it. I have a whole theory on how we got here, but it usually upsets the baby boomers. But it's the hippie culture, man. They all went and got real jobs. They all went and did their thing. They said that we need to be nicer as a society. Started doing everybody gets a trophy, and it was this slight indoctrinating as we went. And the thing is, ultimately, the Republican Party has been lazy as all get out. But that's the Republican way. The Republicans like to fund things. They like to donate money, but they don't go out there and get their hands dirty. Donald Trump brought the blue collar America to the Republican Party. I've always been a Republican, and I'll always be a Republican. And I found myself here in South Carolina, especially, I didn't like my party. And I was a football coach. I was a firefighter. I was on teams in the Navy Seabees. And ultimately, when I had a football team that was expected to beat a team on Friday night, and we'd win by 7, and we're supposed to win state, and everybody's writing about us. We didn't have orange slices on Monday. I put those kids in the ground. We went back to basics. We went back to starts and stops. We went back to recognizing defenses. You didn't play to your caliber, and I'm supposed to just be okay with it because you want to take a day off? No. You play like a champion, you practice like a champion, you act like a champion, you will be a champion. And this country, ladies and gentlemen, has, as young as it is the standard for this world, with empathy, with power, and with prestige. And what do? We're prostituting it away because we want a one world order. That's the first time I've ever said that on a podcast or any other interview. But let's call a spade a spade. Why is it that everybody's so interested? Why is it that we have the Bidens saying that congratulations to Xi Jinping? Hey, Xi Jinping, how about you come get some? That's what I want to say to him. How is it that we have our delegation go to Alaska and the Chinese delegation looks across the table from them and states, you are not speaking in a position of power? Holy crap. If I'm anybody, I'm saying, round them up, bring them back to the house. We need to sit down and talk because we're going the wrong way because these fellers think that we're not speaking from a position of power. Now, people don't say that like China if they don't feel that they are in a position of power. They live by what you have to know your enemy, right? And they're speaking from where they know they have, what they know they have. And if we really want to be mad at anybody, which at the end of the day that we all look to punish somebody, it's the Clintons. Not because they killed 65 people, weirdly, but because if NAFTA and all of that didn't happen, we wouldn't have China being as rich as they are. We paid China to become a world power, if not the world power. I don't know about y'all, but it'd be a lot funner if we did that in Mexico. Maybe they'd stay in Mexico. Maybe the resorts would be nicer. Maybe we wouldn't have to worry about losing a kidney when we go surfing in Cabo San Lucas. I don't know. But what I do know is that China has been having a problem for a long time. China all of a sudden gets NAFTA, gets all of the American, I mean, they can make a hat for nothing. Great. We let them build the biggest Navy in the world. They actually, in their military, have more people in their military than we have bodies in the United States of America. And we allowed them to build the largest Navy to possibly get them here. Why are they building highways in Jamaica? That's weird. Why are they working in Canada doing cold weather operations? China's got a whole lot of cold weather area. Just saying. Because you have a spineless pretty boy up there in Canada that don't know if he's coming or going. But he wants to stay woke and he wants to be nice to China because, well, we're nice to everybody, aren't we? We're nice to everybody until one day there will always be a vacuum when it comes to power. And if they take the United States away, we have a vacuum, right? China wants to fill that vacuum. And everybody wants to look at Russia like they're trying to take down America. I'll let y'all know Russia's been an ally in World War II. Russia don't like China. But the idea is that we kept everybody at an even keel. We kept communism where it was. My granddad, Herbie Matson, right now would lose his mind if he knew we had open socialists, communists in our Congress right now. And they actually get airtime. Like, for real. You can't make this stuff up. But we have an apathetic society that wants to go to yoga practice and worry about whether or not their yard looks nice for their HOA. That's not what you need to be worried about. You need to be worried about what's going on in this world. And it's really hard because it's a lot of, that's why I get back to what I said earlier. We have to be okay with uncomfortable. We need to watch our news. We need to demand that from our news. And you had said that it's amazing how these other countries went socialist because they've controlled the propaganda.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait for me and Rachel Maddow to go at it one day. Me and that could have a day. Sorry,
Yeah,
I got on a roll there. I apologize.
I think we would all like to see that. Chad, we are just scratching the surface with you. We really hope to have you back sometime. Where can people go to follow up with you if they like your commentary?
Well, I've got a big announcement coming soon. We have lost our radio show, but I made the announcement at the CPAC of the South there at Rock the Red before I had the little deal with the Antifa fella. But we're going to go back onto radio. We'll be able to put that out. But right now we have no monetization, and it's really hard for us to find me. But they can't get rid of us because my girl Candace Owens made sure that they couldn't get rid of us on Facebook. And you can go to I'm Fired Up on Facebook. All of our old shows, a lot of our old radio shows are there. I post there whenever I can. I can't do it on my phone because Zuckerberg has my phone pinged out or whatever, which, is what it is. But I'm on Telegram. You can look up I'm Fired Up. I'm on Twitter for the 4th time. And it is I'm Fired Up 2. And then we are I'm Fired Up show on Instagram. But we really do. We're on Gab and all that, but I go in there periodically. It's just hard. And I have my interns, and they all just got out of college, so they're at the beach, so they're not doing it either. But we will have the main one is Facebook. I'm Fired Up on Facebook, and there's no apostrophe in the I'm. It's just I'm Fired Up, all one word, and it should come up. Hey, go ahead and do it, guys, because when you do it, you get warned by Facebook. I'm pretty proud of that. When you go on it and it warns you that this may be a site to be careful of, go ahead and click on that thing and let them know you're a patron.
Right.
Be sure to subscribe for Chad's Telegram. I'm all fired up. And while you're doing that, subscribe for our Telegram as well, After Dark with Rob and Andrew on Telegram. So please search us out. And thank you so much to our guest tonight, Chad. Thank you for joining us on After Dark with Rob and Andrew. Check us out and all the other shows over at AmericaOutloud.com. You can also find America Out Loud on iHeartRadio, Spotify, or Stitcher. We will see you guys next time, and remember to stand for something or you will fall for nothing.